Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Nett Radio.
I remember when you children were weak and hungry. I took you to my bosom, fed you my oil. And even when you took and wasted and left me drained, there was always love for you in my soul. Even when my older children, they tried to shame me, setting no rules for the younger ones, bringing such grief and sadness into my household. In the end, they're still my daughters and sons. I will always be there for you. No matter what you do, whatever joy or pain that you are going through, I will always be there for you. I will be always there for you.
All right, people, and of course, we will be always here for you also on the TT Radio. It's time where we go on the inside courtesy of the Foundation for Human Development. This is where we talk with Steve Williams. They graciously lent Steve to us on a Wednesday, although we had missed him sort of for the last two Wednesdays, and I'll tell him why just now. Steve, good morning to you.
Anna, very pleasant. Good morning. Yes, I know you miss me, but truth be told, I really didn't miss you that much. I'm glad you missed me, but I was having such a good time that I just didn't miss anybody.
Yeah, but I did not allow people to miss you. You understand? Because now that we have all of our programs are being documented, so I just had to go back and fill back some stuff.
Okay,
And just keep our space alive, So even though Steve was not here, now we have stuff. Yeah, so when he joins off for a couple of weeks, no problem. We keep you all alive.
Yes. So I'll tell you, listeners, I went. I go every August vacation to visit my brothers in New York, and one comes down from Canada, and we really have a good time. It's just nothing about anything else but having a good time. It's drinking wine, going to good restaurants, eating good food, and that's what we do for a week or so. I don't envy anybody, but I just simply say yes. It's really is a wonderful opportunity just to get away and do things like that.
Yes.
Without the pressure of work and the pressure of planning the next day and organizing and taking phone calls here and there, it is just wonderful. Just to get up in the morning, have breakfast, and say, okay, so where are we eating today? Wonderful. We go to a Chinese restaurant today. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful.
Yes, yeah, but you must be able to pamper yourself at times.
Yes. Without feeling guilty.
Without feeling guilty about it, you recognize that, you know what, I've worked hard and I'm deserving of this.
That's right. And I used to feel guilty about a lot of these things before, because the way I was brought up, my parents said, your value is your work. You must work hard and give up your best and everything, So even taking a little time off from work felt a little guilty, but not anymore. Those days are over.
Well, it's good to have you back nevertheless,
Yes, I'm glad to be back. So I'm going to continue sharing. Today I want to share a little bit on experiences that people have shared with me and the challenges that they face in life and how best we can overcome some of these challenges, especially in terms of relationships. So I'll share a little bit about one or two stories, and then I will talk about the levels of love. They call it the consciousness, levels of love. That was nicely written up by a gentleman called Mr. Gabriel Gonzalez, who's a deep spiritual writer, as a matter of fact. And he was looking at it from a different angle. So I'll be glad to share his angle with you this morning. So let's start with a wonderful lady called Nikisha. And Nikisha grew up well, wonderful background, nice family and so on, fell in love. The normal things that you do in life. You get to your 20s, you meet somebody you like, and then it turns into love and so on. Sometimes it's not the ideal person that your parents want for you. And in this case, it was that same thing, that her parents didn't exactly feel good about the gentleman that she had decided to become deeply involved with. The gentleman already had a previous relationship, or a few, and had 2 children. She felt that she could manage that situation quite easily. That was not a problem for her. She was glad to look after the children in more ways than one when he placed them upon her and so on. And that was fine. And then about a year or 2 into the relationship, realized that she was being used, that he valued her mainly for her money and valued her for what she could do for him in terms of the children and so on, and therefore attempted to break off the relationship, as happens. They get a little wise, they get a little sense, but couldn't, so she kept saying, but I love him, I just love him, and when your head brain is telling you that there's no future in this, but your heart brain tells you that you have to keep on with the emotional connection. And that's where people end up with a lot of anxiety in the middle of 2 of those things. And then there's Sean. Sean is a young man, wonderful person as well. Does a lot of work in terms of working with people and so on, in terms of exercise and all that. And Sean was able to do that. Sean fell in love with a young lady. The lady was married. He pursued the love that he felt in his heart for her. He ended up with her and continued in that relationship where a lot of hiding has to take place. He knew that somehow the relationship could not take him where he wanted in life, and she knew that as well. But neither of them could actually move to the point of separation. They could not move to the point of separation. They kept saying things like, again, the famous statement, but I love you, but I love you. The but I love you, it means that in spite of all the challenges and all the difficulties and all the problems that this relationship occur, I still love you. So today I want to talk about those 3 words, I love you, and the levels of consciousness about what people think that word love is all about. Now, real love isn't the neediness and the attachment and what I call the infatuation, and sometimes even intense desire, because sometimes that's what it is. It's just deep, intense desire. That's not real love. True love manifests as appreciation, gratitude, warmth, trust, and nurturing, and tenderness, and joy, a sense of safety. True love manifests as that. And so sometimes we have difficulty in making a distinction between the 2. So there are 3 levels, 3 consciousness levels, and the first level is called the having level. So when somebody says, I love you, and people say that all the time in relationships, when you are at the first level, which is called the having level, this is what you actually mean. You mean, I want you to belong to me, or I need you to make me feel complete, or you feel an emptiness inside of me. I'm afraid of losing you to someone else. That's what you mean when you say I love you. It is about possession. It is about obsession. It is about control. It is about ownership. That's what it's about. And when that's what you mean in the first level of love. That's what you mean. And it's where most people are at the very beginning, sometimes, not all people. It's where a lot of people are at. Now, you see what happens there is that when the expectations are not met, this love, this so-called love, transforms into resentment, jealousy, and even hatred. Exactly what happens in such a situation. So, what you find is that in this level, and it's a level, people tend to want to own. Now, it's very popular, and we see it in the examples that we read on the newspaper sometimes. That and Trinidadians have a way of saying, if I can't get her, nobody else must get her. I must be the one, And it's all about ownership. And a lot of people operate. Excuse me. A lot of people operate at that level in love, and it's an unfortunate situation because it never leads to the warmth that I talked about just now, and the safety, and the nurturing presence, and the tenderness, and the joy. It doesn't lead to that. It leads to a bacchanal of confusion in terms of ownership. And when people remain at that level, the love never transforms itself very well. And people tend to break up eventually, of course, because it's all about expectations. It's what I must get from you and what you must get from me. I own you, you own me. And I have rights. And because I'm doing this for you, and because you're doing that for me, I have rights. And the rights sometimes are solidified in marriage, but sometimes the rights never get to that point. So whenever you say, I want you to belong to me, or you feel an emptiness inside of me, in other words, I am empty, I need love, and you come and do that for me, then it's about ownership, possession, dominance, control. The second level is about doing. Now, sometimes we evolve into this level. So when you say, I love you, this is what you mean when you are at this level. It means I want to build a life with you. I'm excited about our journey together. We make a great team in facing life's challenges. Your goals, your dreams matter to me alongside my own. Now, that's a very different level. And that is what occurs when you sometimes evolve from the level of ownership. Sometimes that's where you start because of who you are and the kind of person that you were brought up to be. You see the arrangement as a partnership, not as what I could get from you and what you could get from me. You see it as building with, and I want to emphasize that word, building with. You see that it's about a journey together. There's a journeying, and it makes life easy. You know why? Because the movement forward is rooted in partnership rather than possession. It's rooted in partnership. And I see so many people that when they don't ever get to this stage. But this is a stage that allows people sometimes to realize that they cannot remain in that relationship. Because when you evolve, because people evolve differently, two people in a relationship evolve differently. When you evolve to the point where you are ready for partnership, partnering and journeying together, discussion, sharing, talking, this is how we will bring up the children. This is how we will do this. This is the kind of education we want for our children. This is how we manage our financial affairs. Not your bank account, my bank account, I contribute, you contribute, and so on. then you fight over the in between. It is about how are we going to get this house, how are we going to work it out together, and so on. There's a togetherness and a partnership in the way you respond to life. And that person becomes the partner. When you realize that the person is not into partnership, then it creates the tension and the crisis in the relationship. Because one person may be into partnership and the other person may not be. The other person may still be glorifying possession and, the beauty of sex and all these other things, which become more important than working this out together as a team. That's where we go wrong. And that's where some people, sometimes they say, but they married 18 years, now they married 15 years, and now they break up, it's because something inside, either one or the other, is beginning to say, this is no longer working out. This is not right. This is not good for me. I need more than this. I don't want to be just a footstool. I don't want to be coming and going because you say come and go. I want partnership. And that's where we can evolve to if people take the time. You just have to take your time to be humble enough, to move to that level. And the third is being. Now, being, when you say, I love you, is a different kind of way of saying it. It means I want to be, the emphasis is on be, I want to be with you. And it's about being. Sometimes you don't get to that level until very advanced in your relationship, in your marriage, in your what it is you're partnering with. It really means I love who I am in your presence. Isn't that beautiful? I love who I am. So I know I have these faults, and I know I sometimes a bit lazy, and I know I'm sometimes quite loving, and I know I sometimes give a lot, and sometimes I take a lot, and sometimes I overdo this over. I love who I am. I enjoy me in your presence. Your existence is enough for me to feel joy. Can you reach a point where you can tell your partner that your very existence in my life makes me feel joyous? I find that so great. We don't get there. We quarrel, we say this, your dad, and the other, your mother, your uncle, your aunt, your nephew, your in-laws, all kinds of issues. But when you really want to be with someone, it's the being with both the good and the bad. So sometimes we resist that. We resist the bad because we place a lot of emphasis. Nobody's perfect. There's no perfect human being that I have met. There may be, but I have not met any. And no one is perfect enough. So you get to that level where you can say, I love you. I honor the essence beyond all the little things that you do and don't do. It's not about my expectations of you anymore. I don't expect you to make me happy. I am happy within myself. And because you exist, I am happy. Because I come home to you, I am happy. Because I sit on an evening with you and have a cup of tea or drink a cold beer with, I am happy. That's a level of being with. I know you're not easy. I know sometimes you overdo it. I know sometimes you take the good money we've worked hard for and you gamble it. I know those things. But I enjoy being with you. That means the all of you. We don't get there very easily. And so it is important to recognize that you need to know the level at which you're operating and the ability to look inside yourself and decide, I need to upgrade. I need to upgrade me. I need to look at this thing differently. I need to understand differently. I know to let go I need not to carry all these pains and these hurts and so on. 2 years ago, you did that to me. 6 years ago, when your mother come at you, so. Let it go. When you can let some of those things go, you open the way for being with. You open the way for doing things with. So I'll stop there and ask you to comment on the levels and your own journey in terms of working through the love experience.
All right. So, people, this is where you get in on the show now. You've been listening. So, give us a call 281-1315. If you're out of the jurisdiction, you put 868 before it, and you can call us. You can WhatsApp call us and chat with Steve. So, the lines are open to you right now. Okay. So, we await your calls. So Steve, while we await their calls, you can continue.
Yes. So at every level, remember we're saying I love you. That's the level which we operate under. At the level 1, I love the way you make me feel desired and complete. Now that's a normal, natural way. I started off that way too. You fall in love with somebody and you just feel all over the place, obsessed with the love and so on. And it naturally, because it's passion filled, it leads to ownership. Your mind, there are a lot of jealousy and envy involved there. I see you talking to so-and-so person. Don't talk to them anymore. I want you to give up all your past girlfriends and boyfriends. I want you to take them away from your messages and all of
It's a lot of work to be able to reach to a point where you are comfortable with all of these things, but if early in a relationship you don't have that level of comfort, Steve, that is more than worrying, because if in the early I don't have that feeling that I can be comfortable with you going out or looking your best and dressing nice and going out, that doesn't augur well for the relationship going down the road.
That's true. That's very true. And it goes back to working on yourself all the time. It's something that we talked a lot about before, the inner reflection. Not many people come to that point of actually looking within and saying, I really need to change this. I'm a little bit over possessive here. I'm over enthusiastic here. I need to do that and so on. I need to put some boundaries up. I shouldn't behave that way. So many people never think that, I do see why not. He's my friend for years gone by. In a new relationship. You're in a new relationship. You can't say, well, you will continue the same kind of connectivity that you had before, because you're now in a new relationship. So you have to recognize, I need to put up some boundaries here. It's not that you have to exonerate people completely away from your life, but you have to say, okay, instead of, I used to go by you every Thursday and Friday evening, I can't do that anymore. I'm in a new relationship. I'll give you a call, we'll talk and so on. So people need to recognize where boundaries are, because you're now forming and building something different, but people don't. They want to hold on. And that includes parents, it includes everything, because you come from a home, you come from your mom, your dad, and so on, and you're always there with your mom and your dad and so on. And as I said, I know one relationship where the parents, the couple had to go by the mother's parents every single Sunday for lunch, without fail. No, you can't do that. You have to create your own legacy and your own kinds of interests and so on. It doesn't mean you don't have to go one Sunday or two, but that is stopped. You're now married, and so you now have to build your own. And some people don't realize how important it is to do those things. And so when you remain with these attachments, you create the kind of difficulty in the partnership, in partnering. You're partnering. You're discussing whether to buy a dryer and a washer. You don't have to call your mother to find out if it's which one to buy. You discuss that with your partner. And when you agree together, then you share the information if you wish. But so many people do their consultation outside of the partnership. And after they do the consultation, then they come into within the partnership now to declare we're going to buy this. No, it can't work that way. That's not partnering. That's not being with.
But the sad thing about it also is that, sometimes some of the people who we go to, especially parents, I don't know how many of them ask questions. So, okay, you talk to your wife or you talk to your husband about this.
Yes.
No, they're very pleased. Yeah, I'm happy that you come to me first. I will give you the good advice. You come and tell him.
Yes.
Yeah. So we as parents also we have a responsibility to recognize that we are not helping relationships when we do those kinds of things.
That's correct.
You have to encourage them or they talk about it first. If all they can't work it out, I'll get involved and probably see if I can give all the advice. But see what all they can come up with now.
See what all they could come up with. That is partnering. That's the second level. And you have to graduate to partnering. We have to evolve into that. Because at the beginning is all lovey-dovey, lovey-dovey. I love you, you love me, and so on. And you can't keep your eyes off each other. You're messaging every 5 minutes. You're there, love you today, love you honey, and all kinds of things. And so on. Nice, wonderful. It doesn't last forever, but it's nice. And then comes the partnering. And then comes the being with, the actual ability. I looked at it, and even in the relationship with my brothers, I looked at the fact that we could sit down, the three of us, and we can open a bottle of wine at 8 o'clock in the evening, turn off the TV, and just sit down and enjoy each other's company. Talk about what I am doing, what he's doing, share challenges and so on. Everybody has relationships, everybody has children, everybody is married and so on. But the ability to simply be with is not very often available to so many of us. And that is what it's about. Mm-hmm. When you can get there in a relationship, you get somewhere, Despite all the challenges, children and the school books and the this and the that and the other and so on, and all the little challenges of health and so on, of parents and so on. When you can sit down with someone and you sit quietly and you just sit in company with, and you say, my God, it's great to be in company with this person. And it has nothing to do with sexual attraction, It has to do with a kind of a real, open, genuine love, affection for someone. Then that's where you're at. And that's what we all crave, by the way. We crave it. We move from relationship, looking for it. And we don't get it. Because we realize that we ourselves, on our side, we're not changing, you see. We're grabbing still. We want somebody to please us, somebody to love us. When we have to be giving of ourselves, and if each person does that, the love is so easy.
I think one of the other things that we do too, we don't like to free people of burdens. Or we don't like to recognize that, so you can come across by me every weekend and you can do so and so, and I'm happy for that as your mother or your father and that sort of thing.
Right.
But do we recognize that sometimes, it may not even be necessary for them to come every week to do that for you. You can probably let them come across maybe once a month or twice or whatever. People have these kinds of burdens, man. Yes, we have a call coming in there. Okay. Junior.
Good morning, Sir Charles, and good morning, Mr. Steve.
Good morning.
What's that, Sir Charles? The same which I'll ask Sir Charles for a copy of this program.
I'll send it to you right after.
Yeah, and I'll give my wife it. I want my wife to hear that you could just come in the presence and we don't have to do nothing. She don't even have to talk. Really fast. I was scared. She didn't know how to talk. She just need to be there in my presence. Oh God, but it's a thing. Again, we haven't we kick some Avila for that, but again, life. I don't know how life reached the state that friendship are not genuine anymore.
Yes. God, you said
Right?
it.
Sometimes somebody invited, and sometimes I see it. Sometimes somebody giving you an invitation, but the invitation is based on because you had to do something. So, all right, yeah, I will give you an invitation, but because you had to do something, right? Your friend people again, and we coming together without again, and the idea of hey, we coming online, and it's not because I want something from you. I need something from you. You know, sometimes at times I call my aunt now. I'm recently too. I just call my aunt and I'm hey, I want to go to my aunt asked me, and where are?
Yeah.
I call you. It's because I want something. I don't call you. I don't nothing. I just call you to just check in with you to just find out how you're going, right? How you're doing, and like, you know, even though and I will drop in on them too. And even though you do that, you see the surprise on them face. Like, okay, like, you know, like they're confused, but sometimes somebody don't have to come to, I just come to check on you. I just come to check in on you. I don't necessarily want anything from you, but it's just, you're okay? You're okay? Yeah, you're okay? How you going? How life doing? And that's the reality of life. That is like a day no more. Sometimes a person call you in a generation, hey, how you going? You're good. And tell you about a good, hey, I want you to do, and I want you to, I don't shake my head, but it's something that's a child, and build program, the same, that kind of device. But
yeah, that's a problem. You want the way I to do. Yeah, I think. And all that is learned behavior too, because like somebody responds, and you know, because everybody else calls me because they only want something.
Yes.
So when you call with your genuineness,
yes,
I might have had so many people already call me who only call, hey, how are you doing? They're good. I can get X.
Yeah.
So I am
do that for me. Yes.
Realizing, you know, also the next person, I believe that is what you're calling me to do too, you know. So yeah. Hi, good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Can you hear me now?
We are hearing you very well.
Very clearly.
The captain is on board. The second one, Captain John here.
No problem, Captain John. What's up?
Norfolk, Virginia, front and center. Well, first begin with Sir Charles. I was going to privately communicate with you, but I want to commend you. It is one thing in that, look, everybody has prejudices. When I say prejudice, I'm not speaking about bad prejudices, but you know, you might prefer a particular team more than another team. You may prefer a particular type of food over another. But when it comes to the programming, and from the morning show, and I'm going to say it on the morning show too, but I'll tell you something, you definitely don't have no prejudice, even if you don't agree with something. And I'll give you an example what I'm talking about. When you brought up the statistics to both Richard and Wendell this morning, right? You see, and hey, Captain Ron, hello, my brother, good day to you. Enough respect. But you know, you brought up a point, and I heard that Captain Ron was saying that, you know, that the murder rate is much higher in America and so on. But you brought up something very much, and I'm surprised that Captain Ron, a man of great intelligence, I respect him, but more great knowledge of quantitative, you know, equations and mathematics and stuff, because you know, to fly a plane, you gotta have that, right?
But hold on. Virginia,
Hold on.
let me stop you a little bit. Hold on. I have to deal with this at another time because we into a different program right now.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you probably may not have been listening. Yeah.
Hey, pick it up tomorrow.
We pick it up
All right?
tomorrow.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right. Because we into love and relationships right now and trying to get other things organized. Yes, that is totally different. But that's okay because I know people are picking up the program at different points.
That's what happened. They just turn it on and you pick it up.
Yeah, and
So
what
that's
happens
fine.
in certain
That's
days, every day is not the same thing that happens at the same time.
That's right. That's right.
We have
That's
we have variety. So and I had something I wanted to share with you, and it just jumped straight out of my mind when the call came in. But I guess that is how it is. But yes, Steve, anything else you want to share with us before we go?
You can leave that where it is now. It's just asking people to just kindly remember to look inside yourself a lot of the times. Remember that there's nothing more powerful than being connected with someone who you care about and who cares about you. There's nothing more powerful. You could be 8, you could be 88, you could be 9, you could be 99. When that happens, there's magic. It's magic inside. And we all crave it. So we need to work a little harder to make it happen because it just doesn't happen by itself. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, all right. So tell people how to get in contact with you before you go.
The foundation, we are the Foundation for Human Development. Our physical location is in Cascade, Port of Spain, 36 Cascade Road, Cascade, Port of Spain. And our connectivity, you can get us an email, foundationhd@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp us for 826500.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Steve. It's good to have you back, and I have a good day, a good week. And I guess when I talk to you, it will be after independence.
Oh,
So
yes.
have a good independence.
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, yes, it's true. Yeah, Independence is Monday coming. Yep, so we'll talk again. Okay.
Okay. Have a good one.
Same to you. Take care. Good. Bye-bye.
Will always be there for you. No matter what you do, whatever joy or pain that you are going through, I will always be there for you. I will be always there for you.